Greetings, dear, beautiful, precious, magnificent spirit soul that you are. That's who you are. Not your mind, not your thoughts, not your beliefs, not your awards, not your accomplishments, not your failures, not your jail time, not your president of a country time. No, just get all that said. Yeah. Some are better, some are no. That's not true. My topic is developing your spiritual perception. When we perceive something from our state of consciousness, whether we are perceiving from recognizing and realizing the cause and who you are behind the creation and manifestations in this reality, and knowing who you are, and that and you're also perceiving how this operates. You're also perceiving how other people are operating, because it's easy then to read minds, because you're also reading nonverbal communication, and people's consciousness is going to come forth in everything. Say, for instance, if the person is addicted to sugar and breads and processed foods and all that, their cooking is going to reflect that. Obviously, what they give you is going to reflect that. You can see the patterns. See, when you develop spiritual perception, you go beyond patterns, because you don't pattern. You don't need to pattern. There's infinite variety, not infinite variety, but unlimited variety. And in some inconceivable way, because the mind can't conceive of that which is actually unlimited, because it's a limitation. It's like an app, you might say. It's an addition. That in fact, this is one of the things as the spine's very important. Posture is very, very important. And when I work at a computer, I have a stool, like a spinning stool, because if I'm not in any chair where I sit back, I don't lean, and I'm moving all the time, you see, because the body is water, and water dances. There's a really good book called Dancing with Water, and it's showing how water operates and what it is, okay? So when you have spiritual perception, you perceive the truth, the ultimate truth of all and everyone, and you also perceive then material perception, because you could perceive where they are in their consciousness by also their actions, what they favor. Remember, years ago when I had my ministry in San Diego, there was some woman, I guess, having an affair with the husband, and how my husband, and then how that kind of stuff, because that was like a victory, poor soul. Anyway, I could tell by the paper she was giving me that and the questions she said, that something was going on against me and everything, and also the words that are misspelled and typing or something, you take a look at what's that word misspelled, because you went unconscious there. What's there? There's something there, you see. And when you have spiritual perception, you have very clear perception, because you're coming from your center, the context of your life, of who you are, because you are life, is your natural expanding, ever realizing and unfolding self. And then you also, to develop that, is you do your meditation, you get into nature, you want to sit in silence. And it's very interesting too, because when I do retreats, I really encourage people to also go barefooted and it's warm and all that. And then when we're inside, I have a wood stove and it's all warm and cozy and nice. But also when you're outside, you have nice grass in a certain area to walk. And also, as it gets warmer, I walk the mountains barefooted and the volcano here. And it's because I'm tuning in. And also to sit, like instead of sitting on the porch, it's a beautiful view, but I'll go sit on the lawn, so I can then also sit right on the ground and then listen to the birds and tune in. And with as you study and you read ancient truth and knowledge, that's why I actually like going to the ancient books of the Vedas. Veda means knowledge. because it doesn't pertain to a nationality. It doesn't pertain to somebody's body type. It doesn't pertain to somebody's nation. It doesn't pertain to any of these unlimited laws that people are making continuously, where you really basically don't need man-made laws. You seem to need to harmonize with the natural, you might say, laws or operation of nature at the highest level. And when you can perceive, have natural perception, you're also now perceiving and harmonizing with the nature of how the earth operates and how we're working. So we're now working and living and walking in harmony. Well, when I have the students and encourage to go barefooted, some sneak by time after time because they don't want to do that. And it's fine, you don't have to do it, but they're not balanced. And you could tell, and the food they eat, and what they do, and how they operate, and they make a little progress, but nothing compared to what they could. So they're content with any tiny bits of progress in the divine, and want to hang. And so many people, they'll get some knowledge. Like I know when the path that the seminary I went to was beautiful in teaching some of the basics of how we operate and who we are, and all. It was wonderful. And yet at the same time, it's very limited too, because you have to keep reading those same books and studying the same people and always doing that same thing, but not taken into the absolute of what's really possible. And so you can tell that they'll get to a certain point and then set up camp. I call it camp consciousness. And they set up camp on that step because that's where they make money. That's where they get power. That's where they promote themselves. That's why they build their following, so that their control thing, and so they set up camp and they stop. And this is a whole thing when you have to promote something, a belief system. You have to promote a philosophy. Say that you're a regular a doctor or something according to the world standards, you got all the license, and then you start to notice, wait a minute, the alternatives is about health. This is about the proliferation of the problem and the pharmaceuticals and all of this. Really? And it's got so complicated. It's this and it's that. And they're developing all these things in the laboratory and testing it and all these things. Because we're going to do this and that. This is insanity, not insanity. It's completely bonkers. And you can see by all the problems increasing and increasing and increasing. Why? Because people are not having spiritual perception. Because, I have to survive. No, you don't. You're beyond survival. You're eternity. And you've got to do it now, because most people, when they leave their body, they're shocked. And they're hanging out in the astral plane, or they're hanging out at the funeral to see who shows up. And they think they're going to be gone, and it's going to be over, and they're going to sit on the grass by the river into eternity in heaven. Really? What are you doing, playing cards there? Our nature is activity. It's not resting. Resting on your laurels, you see, whatever that is, on your past accomplishments, thinking that's who you are. What if you wipe clear all of that? Because none of that's who you are. There's no label for who you are. There's no name for who you are. And once you get that, you don't have to promote or protect that false image of yourself. Promoting it and getting people to believe in everything, because that's, and to make it look like you're better or greater, or you think worshiping these so-called false idols out there, that these are just, I got to dress like them and look like them and be like them. There's only one of you forever. You're an eternal being. And what better great adventure than to develop your spiritual perception, because then all is possible for you. And yet at the same time, you also have learned, and that's a lot what I do to offer that, is how this reality functions, and how you can go along to do whatever it is you need to do to accomplish what you want to accomplish and do, and know how to do that. And so it works magnificently for you, because that, and your intention is to work with the law of nature and spirituality. It's not just the way it is, to always work for the welfare of others. Is what you're going to do in balance? But see, in this world, every up has a down. Every plus has a minus. Don't play that game. Transcend it. And when you transcend, you're no longer a game player. Life is not a game. Don't get that. That's a crock. That's belittling you, because you are life and you're not a game. There are no winners and losers. That's local traffic. Got that from Bob Monroe in his book, Far Journeys. Very good. Tell you about the astral plane. And then you transcend the astral plane. Come on, this is it. Do it. Because, wow, when you know who you are and what's possible and how to maintain, I'll tell you, life's good, because you're good, ultimately. You are divine, absolute with a capital A, goodness with a capital goodness. It's who you are. Act, be who you are, you see. That's how you do it. I have to thank the director. He's doing such a great job, Michael Bolger. And here he comes. Oh, I can't talk behind his back. He's in front of him. He's fabulous.